Hi, my name is Steve Bowler, and in this video I'm going to be configuring frame relay using point to multipoint. So as you can see here, I have three routers, router 1, router 2, and router 3. And what I'm going to do now is get the frame relay switch in GNS3, drag it over, right click on it, go to configure, then I'm going to do my frame relay mapping statements. So for port 1, I'm going to use DELC 102, and the destination side of that is going to be port 2, and it's going to be 201. Also, I'm going to use again port 1, and that's going to be at DELC 103, and the destination side is going to be port 3, and that's going to be 301. And that's all I need. So now I have router 1 is the hub. As you can see here, it's got ports. It's got one port, which is port 1, and it's using DELCs 102 and 103 that it's mapped to. And as you can see here, I have router 2. It's using port 2, and it's going to be mapped 201. So it's going to be mapped to router 1. Excuse me. And then you can see here we have port 3, and port 3 is going to be used by router 3, and it's going to be using DELC 301. So that's it. So go ahead and hit OK. And now what we need to do is go ahead and get our serial links going on. So again, router 1, if we click on that, click to the frame relay switch, we're going to choose port 1. Then router 2, we're going to choose port 2. And then router 3, we're going to choose port 3. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and turn on the routers, and then we'll go ahead and get our frame relay point-to-point configuration going. Okay, now that I have my routers started, what I'm going to do here is just draw out the network topology. Again, on router 1, to connect to router 3, we're using DELC 103. To connect to router 2, we're using DELC 102. Then from router 2's perspective, we're using the local DELC 201. And then for router 3, we're using DELC 301. Okay, and we're also using a point to multi-point frame relay configuration. So in this configuration, what we're going to do here is router 1's the hub, and we're going to have router 2 and router 3 be the spokes, and we're all three going to be in the same subnet. So the subnet we're going to use is 192.168. We'll just keep it simple with 1.0/24. So router 1 is going to be the .1. Router 2 is going to be the .2, and router 3 is going to be the .3. Okay, so let's go ahead and start configuring these routers. Let's go to router 1 first. We'll go under the serial interface. So interface 010, and we'll specify encapsulation frame relay to get frame relay up and going, or the frame relay encapsulation type. So what we're going to do now is we're also going to go interface 010, and we'll specify the command interface 010, and then what we want to do here is configure a sub interface. So we're going to do interface 010, and then here we'll just do sub interface. We'll just name it 23, basically router 1's connection to router 2 and router 3. And then if we do space and then question mark, you can see here that we have point-to-point and multi-point. So what we're going to do is multi-point. and then hit enter. Then we're under sub-interface mode on the multipoint. We're going to configure our IP address, which is 192.168.1.1, then /24, and then just like with point-to-point, under the multi-point configuration for our endpoints for router 2 and router 3, we're going to use the frame relay interface delc command. And we're going to tie this to the delcs connecting to router 2 and router 3. So we'll do router 2 first, which router 1 uses delc 102 to reach router 2. And then we'll exit from there. And then we'll hit the up arrow twice, and then we'll use delc 103 to connect to router 3. Okay, then we're going to go back to the physical interface and we'll do a no shut. And now router 1 should be good to go. Okay, so let's go to router 2. And for router 2, we'll go ahead and go under interface 010, specify encapsulation frame relay, and hit enter. Then under the physical interface, what we'll do is we'll use a static map. Actually, before we do that, we'll put our IP address in here. It's IP address 192.168.1.2 /24. And now, if we look on router 1 and do a show frame relay map, you'll see here that I don't have any frame relay connections. Alright, so if I go back to router 2 and I do a frame relay and we do map IP, then what we'll do here